Okay, gonna shoot a quick video documenting the damage to this roof. The homeowner's name is Shalita Ferguson, 1030 Roberta Road in Lake Wales, Florida. I believe Slide is sending out an adjuster today at 10 a.m. It's about 10 a.m. They haven't arrived yet, but I'm just gonna walk you guys through the roof again. I'll send this video over to you guys, just document the damage. So the first thing I'll point out, you can see age, wear and tear on the roof. You can just see stuff like that, like the granular loss, stuff like that. So you can see how the shingle is becoming brittle. So because of the brittleness and the amount of damage on the roof, amount of wind and hail damage, the roof cannot be repaired. Because if I try to repair like broken shingles or damaged shingles, I got to lift those surrounding shingles, and then it's going to crease the surrounding shingle because it's brittle. So it cannot be repaired. This roof has to be fully replaced. The reason I'm shooting another video, because when I spoke to the adjuster on this claim last time, they said they only acknowledged age, wear and tear, and there was no weather-related damage on the roof. So I'll walk you guys through the weather-related damage just to document it and show you what's found up here. So first thing I'll point out, you can just kind of see here on this continuous ridge vent at the top. You can see hail impacts on the roof. You can just kind of see this thing is beat up. Impacts everywhere on that. And then I'll show you the wind and hail damage. So now we're on the front slope, 10 by 10 area. Found 13 indications of hail, and I'll walk you through the hail impacts. So you can pretty plainly see like hail impacts in the roof. The reason we know this is hail is because you can see the impact, and inside the impact, you can still see asphalt. So hail drives the asphalt into the shingle. The difference between that and a blister will pop all the asphalt out of the shingles, the little pebbles. But hail will create the impact, and then it'll drive asphalt into the shingle. So we can see asphalt driven into the shingles in these hail marks. Same thing there. So the front slope has about 13 indications of hail inside of a 10 by 10 space. And now we'll move to the right side of the home. Again, when speaking to the adjuster, they said that there was no weather-related damage on the roof, only age damage. But you can clearly see here that crease line going across the top of the shingle. If you look underneath the shingle, you'll see there's no mat transfer. So there's no double creasing on these shingles. Same thing here. Lift the shingle, you can see the crease line going all the way across the top. That's weather-related damage, not age damage. And how we know it's legit wind damage is because we can see, we do not see any double creasing. There's no mat transfer under these shingles. So there's more here. Same thing here. You see that line going all the way across the top of the shingle. All these lift. Same thing here. It's kind of hard to see because of the shade, but you can see that line going all the way across the top of the shingle. Another one there. You can see that line going all the way across the top. More here. Another one down here. See that line going all the way across the top of the shingle. Again, it's a little hard to see because how the sun is hitting the roof, but you can see it. All the way to top. So on this right slope, we have about 14 wind impacts. And then we have about the same amount of hail impacts inside of a test square. So you can clearly see these hail impacts. Kind of hard, my shadow. Let me see it from this angle. Okay, there you go. So you can see the hail impacts. Same thing there. More here. Same thing there. And like I said, again, you can see that the impact, and then you can see the asphalt driven into the shingle. More there. And it looked like it was a nice size quarter to golf ball size. Same thing here. More there. See that impact. So on this right slope, about 14 crease shingles. So that's wind damaged shingles. And then we also see about 14 hail impacts inside a test square on the right slope. And then on this part of the right slope, you can kind of see as well, which is connected to the front. That right slope, there's a couple wind damaged shingles there as well. Again, if you look at all these shingles, there's no double creasing. There's no mat transfer underneath the shingles. So that's how we know it's legitimate wind damage. And now we're on the back slope. We found 11 indications of wind damage on the back and 10 hail impacts inside of a test square. Same thing here. You can see that creasing going all the way across the top of that shingle. Same thing here. All these lift up, this creased. More here. More down here. More here. There, you can see that crease line going across the top. Some more over there. So all these are pretty consistent. You see that crease line going all the way across the top of the shingle. No double creasing. No mat transfer underneath these shingles. That's how we know it's legitimate wind damage. And then inside the test square, we found 10 hail impacts. See those impacts pretty good. More here, more there, more there. So you guys can pretty much see this roof is damaged. So on the back slope, we've got about 11 wind damaged shingles. You can clearly see the crease line. This is not age wear and tear, these crease shingles. That's a clear crease line. That's wind damage. Same thing there, wind damage. So on this back slope, probably about 50% damage. So this back slope cannot be repaired. It must be fully replaced. And then we'll do an overview of this right slope. Found about 14 wind damage shingles. Because you have this on this right slope as well right there. And then we also found about 14 hail damage shingles on this right slope. So it's a large amount of damage on this right slope as well. This slope cannot be repaired because of the amount of damage, and the roof is not repairable. And then we'll go to the front where we found 13 hail impacts. See those impacts? So this front slope cannot be repaired either because of the amount of wind damage. So we got 3 slopes on this roof that cannot be repaired. They must fully be replaced because of the amount of wind and hail damage on these slopes. So that's 3 slopes that cannot be repaired, got to be replaced. The slope that was in pretty decent shape is the left slope, and it's like covered by a house and trees right there. And this is the north side as well. And we all know the wind doesn't come from the north unless there's a hurricane. So that would explain why even the exposed side is fine, because that's the north slope. So this is 1030 Roberta Road. The homeowner's name is Shalita Ferguson. Just documenting this roof. I'll send this video over to you guys. This roof cannot be repaired. It must be fully replaced.